Welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk. I am your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 104. And man, today is one of those special episodes for me because I've already, you might be thinking, you might see the name, like, I seen this name before on here. Mm-hmm. You have. And he was about 100 episodes ago, 100 episodes ago exactly, he was on episode 4. And when I released that, man, you know, I was literally in the beginning stages of this podcast. And this is one of my boys, you know, I grew up with him. We've been knowing each other for a long time. And, you know, when I first started, I was like, of course I gotta have my boy on there. That was like a no-brainer. And so, you know, I just know that when I released his first episode, man, you know, it was like my first one that I felt like really went up. You know, to me, it went up. You know, I was just starting and it had a lot of listens on that. It was just, you know, strictly audio, the podcast version of it. And still to this day, when I go to my podcast stats, you know, just audio, he's still at the top. Way back episode 4, you know, and so I was like, it's only right, you know. Actually, I really want to get all my boys from them first 10 episodes. I really want to get everybody back on, man, because I feel like, man, I was so much I'm at a way different place than what I was. You know, that was a whole 3 years ago. I think the last time me and bruh talked, I think that was like April 2020. And I'm like, I just want to be able to give everybody that opportunity to, you know, have this version of it. Because I feel like this version of the podcast so much. You know, I had only one mic back then. We was at his house, you know, at the kitchen table with my little one mic. You know, that was directional. You know, I had it on the omnidirectional setting. But I'm like, man, you know, I want my boy to really have a real deal episode of the podcast, man. So I had to bring him back. So much has happened in these last 3 years. Also, you know, man, we got a lot more to talk about. So before we get into this, of course, I got to say, you know, if you support the podcast, please go to the YouTube channel and find us at Dad Can We Talk on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. That's the biggest way to help the podcast. You know, a lot of people ask how they can help. That's the greatest way you can help. Go and subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button. That helps a lot. That will take me a long way. Currently, right now, I don't get paid for podcasting. This is just something that I do. It's a passion for me, but you know, I can't monetize the podcast until I get to 1,000 subscribers at least. So until then, I'm still pushing and I'm kicking down the door. Man, shout out to all the people in the Head Start program for voting me for the Father of the Year. So we just got done with that whole thing. I went out to Atlanta on this past Thursday and I received the award for the Region 4 Father of the Year. And so that's like the highest of the highest award that you could get within the program for Father of the Year. There is no national award for it. So shout out to the Head Start program, man. They really looked out for me. They helped us out a lot. They paid all our expenses out in Atlanta. So shout out to everyone within that program who did what they did and helped us out and continue to help us out, man. I got a lot of opportunities, so y'all be looking forward in the next few months. I'll be making some announcements, man. I met a few guys out in South Carolina, from Tennessee, Georgia, who want me to come out and do some things out in their area concerning fatherhood. So y'all be on the lookout for that, man. At the end of March, next month, I think March 26th, I'm planning on doing another dad walk like I did last year. So y'all stay tuned for that also. trying to see which route we're gonna do. I know I want to hit West Gainesville this year. Last year we did East Gainesville, so I want to bring it out west this year, and try to do that. And then next month I will be doing my dad group at the Swag Resource Center on the southwest side of town. So if you are free, pull up, man. You know, we got an hour time slot, man, and I'm trying to get dads together where we can really just chop it up, you know. No cameras involved, you know, it's just us. You know, it ain't gonna be like the podcast or anything. It's just a support group for dads where you can come and talk and get things off your chest, man. And so y'all be looking forward to that also. I'll be putting more information out about that. And that's all I really got for announcements, man. But I want to get it back into this, man. So I'm here with my man, Ray Perosi. Before we go into that, if y'all hear any noise, kids, doors, we at my house. My kids home, my wife home, you know, my dog got his kids here. So that's what we do. We dads, you know, we got families. So just a disclaimer, if you hear stuff in the background, just block that out, man. But yeah, so I'm ready to get back into this with my dog, man. I know we already had you on the pod, so my first question still been the same. So I asked you the last time, what was your relationship like with your dad? So this time, you know, it's been 3 years. I want to ask you a different question. Has your relationship with your dad been any different within the last 3 years?
I mean, not too much different, but you know, that's kind of like my partner. Like we close, you know what I'm saying? Like I can call him for advice and stuff, you know. He'll check in on me. He'll check in on the kids and stuff. You know, he got his own life going on, but we cool. You know what I'm saying? We cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it got better too.
Yeah.
It's gotten better.
That's a good thing.
You know,
that's a good thing, man. And you know, I like to keep that question because I always look at, you know, how father-son relationships, you know, I just believe they're so important for us. And, you know, especially with us as fathers, growing with our dad, you know, I think it's something important. I was talking with a guy a couple of days ago at the one event in Atlanta, and he was saying that he hated his dad so much for years. And he was like, I don't think he was like, it wasn't until his dad was on his deathbed, he was like, he had a chance to sit down and talk with him and really forgive him for a lot of things that had happened. And he was like, he just wish he had did that earlier in his life. He was like, you know, he ain't really look at it as being something important until he knew, like, okay, my dad is about to pass on. And just hearing his story, and I was like, boy, that's something that I'm real conscious of, you know, just always making sure, you know, periodically I check on my pops, man. You know, if I know I ain't heard from him in about 2 weeks, you know, let me call him and check in and make sure he all right, man. You know, just keeping that communication, you know, trying to keep that open, because it's one of them things, you know, that, you know, of course, if we ain't really grow up with our dads like that, sometimes the relationship ain't really like a father-son, but it's more like you said, we cool, you know, we can talk, you know, and it's, you know, it might not be like super deep or anything, but it's, you know, we checking in and we good. So that's just why I always like to talk about that. But what's something that, you know, I think with your oldest 11, right?
Yeah, 11.
So within these 11 years of being a dad, like what's been one of those things, like what's been like the thing that you've learned the most about yourself throughout this whole process of fatherhood?
I had to figure it out on my own, really. Because it's like, I mean, in the beginning, like, it was scary, bro. Like, it was real scary, because it's like, I'm having a baby, but I'm still young at the same time. And then with him getting older now, he 11, because I got a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 11-year-old. So with him, it's like, he older now, so it's like he's starting to feel himself a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? He's starting to grow into himself. And it's like, certain stuff I gotta watch what I do around him too, because he be paying attention. All of them pay attention. But it's like, I gotta realize that he ain't getting no younger. They not getting no younger. So it's like I be trying to think ahead now. Like I be trying to think, okay, he 11 now. I gotta make sure I'm situated for when he be like 21. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Because when I was around that age, I ain't really had nobody to call, and like certain stuff that I was going through, I had to keep that in. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't really call nobody to talk about that stuff. My mama was there, but you know, it's certain stuff you need a man to call. You know what I'm saying? You need a man to call to ask questions about, like, and like I said, my dad, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying he wasn't in my life or nothing like that, but he had his own thing going on. You know what I'm saying? When you only have one child, you and the mom ain't together, because him and my mama wasn't together. Like they wasn't together, man. So it's like he had his own thing, she had her own thing going on. So it took me to have my own child to understand that. You know what I'm saying? I used to be kind of mad for a long time at him, but once I had my kids, I started to understand, like, dang, this why everything be the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't promised that 2-parent home. You know what I'm saying? And everybody try to get their kids that 2-parent home, but sometimes that's not how it work out. It's just not how it work out, and you gotta understand that. The kid's not gonna understand that, but you gotta understand that. So that's what I pretty much learned. Like when you get older, bro, and you have your own kids, you kind of see why things are how they were, like why they the way it is, because everything don't work out how you think it's planned. You can plan something, that don't mean that's how it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? And that affect kids. It really do. And I used to be like, dang, like, why he need to be doing this? That's my daddy, so he need to be doing this. But like I said, everybody got their own life. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what I had learned through these 11 years as being a daddy. Like, you gotta take everything for what it is, and you gotta move forward. You can't go backwards. Whatever happened. You gotta keep moving forward. That's basically how I look at it,
man,
bro.
That's so real, because one thing that I'm learning right now is, you know, I'm learning to deal with the seasons of life. Like, seasons, we have different seasons in life, and at times, you know, I know for me, just speaking for myself, at times I look back at how things was maybe 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and when it comes to like, especially when it comes to like relationships and friendships and stuff, you know, at times if I get upset about certain things, or I might feel some type of way about something that happened, or I look back and I want things to be a certain way. But what I'm learning that, bro, seasons pass and seasons change. Like, you can't keep things like, okay, it's all right to remember the past, but don't revisit that.
For sure.
You gotta learn to move forward, because if you continuously looking at the past, how things were, and you continuously trying to revisit those things, bruh, and that's been one of my biggest struggles in this season of my life, like trying to let go of certain things, you know, because we change, bro. You know, we change. You know, and other people are gonna change. And it's like, we want people to stay the same, but it's like, it ain't like that, you know, right. And we can't expect it to be like that and continuously trying to go back and grab for what it used to be. Like, gotta learn to accept life for what it is right now. And bro, that's what I'm speaking for me, boy, that's a hard thing, bro. It's a hard thing. And so, yeah. So what is Jaden? He's in middle school,
5th grade.
Oh, so he 5th grade.
I got 2 in 5th and 1 in 4th.
Okay, so you about to get to that middle school point.
Yeah, I was just telling my brother on the way here, like, both of them gonna be in middle school next year. Like, it's real, bro.
Man,
I'm talking about,
boy,
they into girls now. They into all that, man. They into social media. it's a
That
different
joker,
world. I'm telling you, bro.
he added me on IG.
Yeah, all my partners be telling me, hey, you know your son? I said, man, he be adding everybody, bro. He like to see everybody I be around and associate with. He like to go send them friend requests and do this and that. And me, honestly, bro, like, I used to be against that social media stuff for them because you know what's out there in that social media world, but I know, like, me, when I was, like, in middle school and all that, you know, like, urban chat and all that stuff was big. So it's like, that's what they into. So it's like, I be telling them, like, as long as you ain't on there with no crazy stuff, man, or doing nothing crazy, you know, I'm cool with it. Just, you know, watch your mouth, watch what you post on there, this and that, because at the same time, people know y'all my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
So that's another thing. But
so, that's interesting. That's interesting. What are your thoughts on electronics, like what they call it, screen time use for the kids, and like what's your take on that, like as far as how much you allow the kids to use, you know, phones, computers, tablets, all that?
But really, like, how I do it, bro, is like throughout the week, I don't even let them be on the phones, like, you know what I'm saying? Throughout the week, Monday through Friday, like school days, like, I don't let them even touch electronics like that. On the weekends, I let them hang out. I let them be on it. I can't lie, it get on my nerves when they be on it all night, like, cause my son Mage, he'll be on that phone all night. Like, I'm talking about all night, you know what I'm saying? But it's a weekend, so I let them hang out, you know what I'm saying? I think it just aggravates me because, well, I ain't gonna say aggravate, I think it just kind of get on my nerves sometimes. I just don't really want their face in that phone like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how that phone is. Because I'm on my phones a lot, but that's because I run a business, so it's like I gotta be on my phones. I gotta know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I done got better, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I don't want them on the phone throughout the week because I want them to focus on their school and stuff and make sure they don't get sidetracked. But on the weekends, that's what they like to do and they kids, so I just, like I said, they ain't doing nothing crazy, nothing, you know what I'm saying, out of order. I let them hang out on the weekend on their phones, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But through the week, I let them know, like, this school is strictly business, so I don't need y'all to be sidetracked. So no phones during the week. On the weekend, do what you want to do. Yeah. As long as you ain't doing nothing crazy, as long as you ain't nothing sideways, you good. You know what I'm saying? So.
And see, that be my thing, bro, because I'm like, I be on their head so hard. Like, I used to just let them, you know, use it all the time. Yeah. You know, they'll be on the computer, be on the Xbox, and on the phone, and then I started to notice a change in them, bro. Like, maybe like last summer, you know, I was letting them, they was on them things a lot, bro. And I started noticing, you know, attitude changes, and you know, they fussing with each other every day now, and they being disrespectful. And after a while, I'm like, hey, listen, bro, that's dead. Yeah. Like, y'all on punishment from these things for a whole month. I don't want to hear nobody ask about a phone or a computer, nothing like that. We ain't even doing that, bro. And I noticed another change. Like, I noticed that they started playing better with each other when they ain't have all that extra stuff, you know, in these phones and all that. And you know, Chanel works at she works at one of those she works at the CMS building at UF, the Children Medical Service, I think that's what it is. Yeah. And she says that one of the doctors there was telling her about how the electronic use really affects children. Like, it affects their social and emotional. It affects them in, I think, in all areas. And she was just explaining a lot of stuff to them. And she says that because at her clinic, a lot of parents bring their kids there to get for like therapy and stuff. So she said that one of the main things that she sees kids for, she always asks them about electronic use. And she says that whenever the parents listen to her about the electronics, cutting that stuff down, she was like, she recommends that parents cut it out, period. Yeah. But you know, even if you cut it down a little bit, she said, man, she see kids go from being on multiple meds a day to 0. You know, just from cutting out electronics. And I was like, dang, that junk kind of makes sense. Cause bro, like on everything, bro, it was like last summer, bro, I started noticing my baby started changing, bro. And I'm like, when y'all even get like this, bro? Like y'all, like I say stuff to y'all and it's like, ain't nothing computing in y'all mind to know that like what's all this extra stuff we going through now? And man, so I be on them jokers hard now. I usually, you know, during the weekends, I let them do their thing. Yeah, then every now and then, like if I got stuff to do and I'm just at the house and they been all right, you know, Daddy, we cleaned the house. So, you know, they be trying to be nice.
Yeah, I'm already
I give you a couple hours on it. But, yeah, bro, like that stuff is serious, bro, you know, and then, you know, my kids ain't to the social media part of it yet. Oh, you know, they be on the Roblox. Uriah just started messing with, Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah.
And I'm like, what? But I be having to catch. I'm like, I know I used to be like that, you know, but I know I used to be a hard head too. So I'm like, man, you know, I'm trying to keep a balance with them, try not to be too hard, you know, but I'm like, I do have to keep a watch on them. So how is like, I know what question I wanted to ask you about this. So I know you got one that's in public school, you know, your 2 in public school, and then you got one that's private school.
Private, yeah.
You know, my kids are going to the Rock for like the last 2 years, 3 years, and I just had to put them in public this year.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, they're at Newberry now. So, do you see a change? I mean, not a change, but a difference in between, you know, you got 2 in public and 1 in private. Do you see any type of difference with that?
As far as
like their behaviors or things that they deal with? Like
Mage, yeah, he went to the Rock. He went to the Rock before, but this year he go to Oak Hall. Oak Hall now.
Okay, but they private too.
Yeah, they still private. They still private. I say with Mage, that's my middle child, and I say it's crazy because he's so smart. You know what I'm saying? To the point to where he understands who he is. So with him being in a private school environment, it don't really necessarily change him. He know how to orchestrate. He know how to keep yourself up inside that private environment. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, like, they wear uniforms, you know what I'm saying? And that's my child who he likes to be like, he like to be clean. Yeah, he like to be clean, you know what I'm saying? He like to rock out, he like to wear his clothes, his shoes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And me and his mama, we like to keep him up. We keep all of them up, but it's like him going to private school, it's crazy because I just asked him that on the ride to school 2 days ago, I want to say. And I was asking him, like, you know, you still, like, you like the private school still, or you want to go to public school because you getting ready to go to middle school? And I say, he was like, he want to go to public school basically because he don't want to be wearing the uniforms. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's the only reason why he want to go because, like I say, my son, he like to be clean. You know what I'm saying? He to that age now, like they into fashion. You know what I'm saying? All of them into that fashion stuff. But as far as like, cause he went to public school before, you know what I'm saying? But I think the private school keep him more on track too. That's another thing because, like I said, and then Oak Hall,
real deal.
Yeah, like it did, like the Rock, you know, like this not a racial type of thing, but it's like at Oak Hall, it's more of like a white school. So you know what I'm saying? I want to say when I went, I think I seen probably like two black students, you know what I'm saying, and including him. But it's like, he still know how to, he see the difference, and I ain't gonna lie, when he was first going, like, it was certain stuff that I could see that would bother him, because some kids, you know, they try to, I wanna say throw their weight on him like that, but they'll try to act like they were more, like they better than him, you know what I'm saying? And I used to tell him, like, bro, that don't mean nothing, because you can go to school and get the same grades as the smartest kid in your class get, you know what I'm saying? So that don't make no difference. But, like I said, he totally understand how to carry himself at a private school. Because if anybody know my son outside of school and stuff, he'll trip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that really amazed me how he know how to orchestrate himself in another environment. Because it was to the point sometimes I see him at school, and his mama even tell me the same thing. Like, he may be off to himself a little bit because like I ain't saying he feel like he left out or he like kind of cornered out, but it's still different for him. You know what I'm saying? That's like you being like a new kid at the school. You know what I'm saying? How you kind of veered off a little bit. That's how he kind of was, but he still try to not fit in, but he still try to be around the other kids and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But he also know how to be by himself, you know what I'm saying? He also know how to do that also. That's another thing. But he used to it now. He kind of used to it, you know? But majority of all his friends, everybody else that he cool with, that he associate with, they all go to public school. You know what I'm saying? He got a few friends at his school now, but his main homies and stuff, they all in public school. So that's another thing. And I think it's just the fashion thing with him, the uniform thing, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. And see, that was my baby girl, this her first year in school. So for her, it's ain't nothing. For her, I mean, she don't know no difference.
Yeah.
Uriah only went to the Rock for that 1 year for kindergarten. Asri had been, so she did first, second, and third grade at the Rock. So she did 3 years over there. She did kindergarten in public school. She did it at Terwilliger. So she had already been in public school. Plus, you know, she was in Head Start. So that's
amazing. They both went to Terwilliger, remember? At the same time.
Yeah, I remember that. So it's like when she switched over, I think she had got so used to the Rock and the structure that the Rock had, you know. That's
what I was trying to get to, the structure part.
They got that certain structure over there, which I think, I think it's a good thing, you know. I did like that part of it. But at times I think now it's like they're in public school, you know, public school kids are just different, bro.
Exactly.
It's just, you're exposed to many other things now, you know. Kids over there I be going over there. I helped chaperone at a field trip. Bruh. Boy, them jokers different. Boy, I was one of them kids, I was like, boy, you finna be with me. Boy, you hard-headed.
I already know, bro.
I said, boy, you hard-headed, bro.
Man, listen, bro.
Man. And so it's like with that, I'm like, you know, I think, so Azriel, you know, she good. I mean, straight A's. You know, she ain't got no problems with her academically. I think sometimes it's a shock for her because she's like, Daddy, you know, a lot of the kids in my class did really bad in class and they're just always getting in trouble and they talk a lot in class and they're so, like at the Rock, you know, you'll get kicked out of school for stuff like that.
Bro, that's what I was saying, bro, because like even with my son, like it's stuff that if he was in public school, it'd probably be like a normal thing, whatever he was doing, but it used to be like the slightest thing sometimes that'll really point him out of the crowd that he was in at private school. You know what I'm saying? Or just the smallest thing that he can do is stick out to them people at the private school. You know what I'm saying? Which I understand because, like you say, it's a certain structure, but it's just like you got to really be on your P's and Q's over there, bro. Like that's another thing. And like even with him, he like, cause he's not no pushover. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I used to have to tell him like sometimes, bro, you gotta not bite your tongue. Don't let nobody play with you, but at the same time, understand where you at. You know what I'm saying? You at a private school. It's a whole different ball game than it is at a public school. You know what I'm saying? And that's like some of the kids, they used to like kind of poke at him. You know what I'm saying? And Maze, he don't play that. You know what I'm saying? So I used to have to tell him like, bro, listen, they don't really too much understand you. You know what I'm saying? And you may not understand them. So you gotta look at it from 2 point of views. So at the same time, as long as they don't put their hands on you, bro, just kind of chalk that because you in private school, bro. You know what I'm saying? The smallest thing, they gonna automatically, and then with you know what I'm saying, you being like a black child, mixed child, you know what I'm saying? It's different. They gonna point that out, you know what I'm saying? So,
every time.
Yeah, I used to have to tell them, bro, just keep you cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just keep you cool. You at a private school, you doing good. Just understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? He good at that. That's why I say that's why I'm proud of him about that, because he understand the environment. He understand him as a person, and he understand the environment that he in. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like even if if we put him in public school, in middle school, I feel like it wouldn't affect him like that. I feel like he'll just be, you know what I'm saying, he back in his element, you know what I'm saying? But he also know how to conduct himself. And then with my kids that's in the public school, they don't know about the private school because they never been to private school. They always been in public school. Jaden and Bentley always been in public school, you know what I'm saying? So like you say, they be exposed to so much, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, that's why I ain't gonna lie, like when I drop my kids out of school, I be praying for them, because it's like you don't know what they be exposed to. Like they learn so much at school. Because I remember when we was in school, you know what I'm saying?
Boy.
Certain stuff that you ain't got going on at home, when you get to that school, man, listen.
Boy.
It be so much going on, bro.
Hey.
So you gotta tell them, like, hey, listen, you gotta be careful, bro. You gotta pray for them kids when they walk out that door in the morning and go to school.
Real talk.
You never know what's going on.
Real talk. Man, you say, you know, they into girls and stuff now. Like, you know, my oldest, she 9 in 4th grade. Yeah, I mean, we ain't really had no talk like that. She ain't never really said too much to me about no stuff like that. But like, have you had to like have any talks with them about that type of stuff yet?
Oh yeah, plenty of talks. Like, I just had one with Mage on the way to school the other day too. Him, and then on Valentine's Day I had one with my other two, Jaden and Billy too. Like, I asked them, I was like, "What y'all have? Y'all had a Valentine's or something?" They was like, I was like, "Man, you can tell me, man." They were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Did you get her anything? I said, "Why you didn't tell me? We could have went and got her a card or something, this and that." You know what I'm saying? Because I know they to that age now, you know what I'm saying? And they got to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you got to know, hey, you a boy, you supposed to like girls. Or you like girls, I need to teach you young, because you got to understand, because I had them early, bro. Yeah. And like, I don't want them to have to like hide anything from me, like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I want to make sure that, okay, y'all into girls. It's a big deal, you know what I'm saying? Because for one, y'all young. You know what I'm saying? Have fun. Don't be too much into that love stuff, because these kids nowadays, bro, they be going crazy, bro. Like, them little girls that had their head gone, and they don't understand that you young, bro. You got so much ahead of you, bro. Like, just chill, have fun, you know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't disrespectful to them little girls, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because two of my sons, Jaden and Bentley, they got a sister. You know what I'm saying? And Mage, he also got a sister. So they all got sisters. So it's like, I always tell them, like, you know what I'm saying, be an example for your sister. Be somebody that, you know what I'm saying, you would want her to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take care of her how you'll take care of a girl that you like. You be polite. You know what I'm saying? Be respectful. Don't be disrespectful to them. Because they sometimes they be on the phones with girls and stuff.
No, man.
Yeah, they be on the phone with girls and this and that, man. So it's like, and I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't really prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? But when it just started, I had to tell myself, listen, bro, it's gonna eventually happen. You know what I'm saying? I got good looking kids. You know what I'm saying? And people know them like Maze, Jaden, and Bentley. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they good looking kids. So it's like the girls is gonna come with it too. And this just like elementary type of stuff. This ain't even middle school and high school yet. So if I can kind of let them know what's going on now, let them know ahead of time, like, you know, they'll be ready for high school. Because like I say, bro, I didn't have that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's why I had my kids early, because my daddy wasn't really, he was there to tell me, like, you know, be careful and do this and that. But it's like, if I really understood, and I love my kids to death, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I probably wouldn't have had kids at the age that I had them at, you know what I'm saying? Because that really kind of like, it ain't hold me back, but it kind of slowed a lot of things up for me, you know what I'm saying? I could have been here instead of back here, because I had to cut a lot of stuff out. I had to change a lot of stuff. I had to do stuff different, you know what I'm saying? Because I had kids now, you know what I'm saying? Like, and at that time I just had 2, then I had a 3rd, so it was like, it didn't take long for me to understand, like, bro, you can't even be playing around like that. So as far as like the girls part, I'm into it now as far as educating them on it, because I want to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do first before they end up getting, I ain't gonna say messed up or cased up or anything, but it's just like live your life and your purpose first, you know what I'm saying? Before any kids happen, you want to be able to just to take care of yourself first, you know what I'm saying? And
straight up.
let them know, like, right now, have fun. You can talk to girls. You can just no disrespectful type of stuff. Don't let them get you out your element. Don't let them distract you because you in school. Now, that's your main priority right now, is school, you know what I'm saying? So the girls, that's just natural. You're going to be around girls. Yeah, that'll come. That'll come. And you can have fun and talk to them now, but all that extra stuff right now, that don't need to be on your mind because y'all 9, 10, and 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, when they go to school, bro, they out of our hands. So it's like you don't know what them girls be telling them boys and getting them hyped up about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and see, I ain't got no girls, so I know that's totally different when they come to you. Because you got to talk to them about as far as like boys and, you know what I'm saying? Then you know how we was, you know what I'm saying, back in the day and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like my son, Mage, he got a little sister. She about 3 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I treat her like she mine, you know what I'm saying? So it's like certain stuff, even with her, like I be telling her mama, like, she need to see an example, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even saying she don't have an example, but I'm saying it's like, if I'm around her, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show her an example of like what a man supposed to do, even though she 3 years old, you know what I'm saying? She need to know the structure too of a man, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna like provide, you know what I'm saying? They need to see a man teaching their mama, showing them things, certain stuff that you would want your daughter to look at, you know what I'm saying? Cause some dudes don't care, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care. They'll tell a female whatever they want, bro.
Straight up.
That's why I say with my boys, I just try to tell them what the best that I think, what you should do. You know what I'm saying? As far as the girls part and all that stuff,
So, man, let's get into this. I know that, you know, within the last few years, you have been going through some custody stuff with your sons, man. I want you to talk about that whole process. And I think the last time we talked, they was living with you sometimes. I think you was telling me how they, you know, they would come over and, you know, they would spend the night with you every now and then. But like, talk about, you know, what's went on within the last couple of years, man. You know, just talk about that whole process.
it's been a roller coaster, bro, honestly. Cause like what was going on was, man, like they was coming with me every other weekend, you know what I'm saying? And outside of that, it was just with their mom. And that's with my oldest and my youngest, with Jaden and Bentley. But even with them outside, just every other weekend, I had them like a lot. Like they was with me even during the week sometimes, like even on weekends where I wasn't supposed to, you know what I'm saying? They would still be with me, you know what I'm saying, sports, because they was in sports at the time. So I was taking care of all that as far as like the traveling and the games and practice and stuff. So I didn't really look at it as like every other weekend. I looked at it as like, it ain't really no difference. This is just what's on paperwork. This is when they supposed to come with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And like them boys, so I used to try to have it with me as much as I can. So, but as far as like the custody part, I mean, that was a roller coaster too. You know what I'm saying? Throughout all these years, it was hard because it's like me and that mom, we would get into it sometimes off of small things, or like sometimes I feel like she'll try to like throw a weight out on me as far as the kids, and like I used to tell her like, listen, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because you know sometimes they want you to do what they want you to do. You know what I'm saying? I was never that type. I can't let nobody push me over when it comes to my kids, because I'm 10 toes about mine. I'm always there. Like, it ain't nothing that you can say that I don't do for them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, when I was, this stuff, as far as them coming with me, I was on child support, you know what I'm saying? And that's probably what really used to tick me off, because child support, bro, it even held me back so far, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as financially wise. And a lot of people be scared to even talk about that, because they be like this and that. Nah, I ain't scared to say, like, sometimes I was late on my payments, or sometimes I couldn't pay the payments, you know what I'm saying? Because outside of that, I was still taking care of them, you know what I'm saying? They was still in my care too. And at the same time, it just became like a toll on me, you know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I ain't really have no steady like job, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to run a business, I was trying to create a business, and they didn't understand it. All they would understand is, okay, well, you run your own business, so you can stop what you're doing and go do this. And it got to the point where my kids started acting out, like bad. Like it was to the point where it was stressing me out, because like they would kind of like show their behinds. Like, I ain't even gonna say it would be with me. It would really necessarily, bro, 95% of the time, it would be with their mama, you know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming their mama for it, but this is when they would do it, you know what I'm saying? They would display the type of behavior that they was displaying and the type of stuff they was doing. It was just like, she couldn't really call nobody but me to try to help her handle it, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I say, we was like bumping heads on a lot of stuff too, you know what I'm saying? Because I seen my way, she seen her way. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I know they was primarily in her care, but I never seen really like no type of difference. So it got to the point, bro, where like I had to go to them people. I had to go get an attorney. You know what I'm saying? To kind of help me situate what I got going on, because it wasn't doing that, but just having me going in circles as far as my kids. So long story short, like I said, they was coming with me every other weekend. I was still taking care of sports and other stuff that they needed and stuff like that. So it got to the point where I had to go get an attorney, you know what I'm saying, to kind of ease everything out and kind of like, you know what I'm saying, get me situated, because I got to the point where I told myself, like, listen, bro, you ain't gonna really be able to move forward with everything as far as like your life too, because I got a life too, you know what I'm saying? My life has been on hold for my kids for so long, to where like I had to really like put my foot down and like, listen, I ain't finna get treated like this. You ain't finna, you know what I'm saying? You're not finna handle me like this when it comes to my kids. Cause in my eyes, I'm a good daddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I did good from what I came from, you know what I'm saying? Like, not having my daddy in the same house as me, you know what I'm saying? My brother's daddies took care of me. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how I looked at it. Like, my daddy wasn't in the household with me. And I never seen my daddy and my mama really, bro, in the same room. But the first time I seen my mom and my daddy, like, that I can remember in the same room, is when I was in high school and they found out that my firstborn, my baby mama, that she was pregnant. That's the first time I ever seen them in the same room that I can remember, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I had to really like look forward and like, bro, you got a life too. So once I went and got an attorney, it took a couple months, you know what I'm saying, to get everything situated. But man, I thank God for that lady. So shout out to Miss McDonald. That was my attorney. So anybody having any type of issues as far as custody, child support, anything, go holler at Miss Alicia McDonald. That's the lady to go talk to, because she really helped me out, bro. Like, she understood, you know what I'm saying? This lady got it to where my kids now, they live with me. You know what I'm saying? And they go with their mama every other weekend now. So it's kind of flip-flop. But it wasn't how it was with me. Like, I was still having them outside of when I was supposed to have them. Every other weekend, they go with their mama from Friday to Sunday. Friday, I drop them off at 5 p.m. at the mall parking lot in Belts. And on Sunday, pick them up. Same routine. And that's what I needed. I needed that structure, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I needed something to where, like, okay, this was finna happen, regardless of what anybody say. Drop off, pick up. Drop off, pick up. You know what I'm saying? But also, I had to explain to their mama, like, listen, this ain't me trying to hurt you or nothing. This ain't me trying to take my kids away from you or nothing. But this is me getting some type of structure. You know what I'm saying? As far as some kids, because at the same time, like I say, bro, my kids was acting out so bad from school, bro. My dog, like, a lot of people don't know what was going on with my kids, my oldest and my youngest, bro. My oldest got Baker Act 3 times, bro, within the last, like, the 6 months, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? To where, like, it really hit me when they came and got my child, held him at the UF Center and told me that they got to keep him for 3 days and I can't do nothing about it. Damn. So when I realized that, I'm like, damn, that's like my son going to jail or something, you know what I'm saying? And they young, so it got to the point to where they was acting out so bad, their mama couldn't really, she didn't know what to do, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I used to tell them, like, listen, bro, they not listening to you because of how you used to do when they was young. You let them do whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So now it's kind of backfiring on her. You know what I'm saying? I used to be like, you know, that's your problem. You know what I'm saying? When they come in, they don't do that. But I had to realize it's bigger than that now. You know what I'm saying? Because them still our kids. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't like she can get help, assistance, and all that stuff. But, bro, when it come down to it, they got 2 parents, and that's the people that's supposed to come first to take care of their kids. You know what I'm saying? I had doctors and stuff, and I used to have meetings, bro. Bro, I used to get to a point, bro, especially with my youngest, he used to get in so much trouble, bro. I used to have to, like, drop him off to school, and I wait in the parking lot, bro, just because I felt like the school finna call me to come pick him back up. I used to have to leave from work, bro, from whatever I'm doing, go pick him up. And just like, it was getting stressful, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? So I used to have to just tell her, like, listen, bro, like, something gotta be done. Like, and she would kind of sometimes use that against me, bro, like, that I run my own business. Oh, you run your own business, so you gonna stop what you doing and you can go pick him up. And he just get to the point like, nah, bro, because first of all, this messing with my money, you know what I'm saying? But my kids come before some money, you know what I'm saying? So, like I say, it got to that point, you know what I'm saying? I had to get an attorney. My attorney got it to where my kids now, they live with me. You know what I'm saying? They live with me, they go out every other weekend. And she got it to where I'm off child support now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being 100% honest, you know what I'm saying? Now, my son's mom has to pay me child support. You know what I'm saying? I have a back pay of about 40 grand because when my son was younger, I didn't know nothing about that child support stuff. I didn't know if you get food stamps and all that stuff that it would add up, that somebody got to pay that back. So when it got to the point, like I say, by the time I understood the system and the court system and stuff, I was already $25,000 in the hole as far as child support. So it's like you couldn't really do nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? So with me and her bumping heads throughout all these years and going through this type of stuff, nobody knew about that stuff really besides like the immediate family, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of put me in a hole financially wise, you know, they was coming after my license and stuff. And I needed my license to drive for what I was doing, you know what I'm saying? So now with me having a back pay of around about 40 grand, she's on child support and she has to pay me, but she doesn't physically have to hand me no money because of my back pay. So it's kind of to where now I get a credit every month, you know what I'm saying? And I was never able to claim my kids on tax returns, none of that stuff. I never got any money for that. I never, you know what I'm saying? She would get everything every year. So now I claim them. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to claim. She can't claim. I claim the kids now, but she gets whatever I get for the return until my back pay is paid off. So when my back pay paid off, that's when she physically has to hand me, well, not hand me, but she has to pay the child support. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like to where like it flip-flop. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna necessarily say that was karma. I just feel like I deserve that. You know what I'm saying? Because I done been through so much behind my kids, bro. And behind closed doors, a lot of people didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So I had to kind of push what me and her had going on to the side. Like, you know what? It ain't even really about what we got going on. It's about the kids now, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, even with their mama, bro, I was with their mama for a long time, you know what I'm saying? A long time, bro. Talk. So that goes back to what, like we were saying in the very beginning of the podcast, like, you can't be stuck in the past, you know what I'm saying? Because you may think something to go like this down the line, man, that thing could take a whole left turn, bro. Yeah. So it's like, when that happened, well, me and her separated, this was years ago, this was like 5-6 years ago. It took a toll on my kids, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I really had to let them understand, like, listen, me and y'all mama, we not together, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stuff changed, you know what I'm saying? So they understand that now, and they getting used to it, but I also understand as a man now, that still affects them down the line. You see what I'm saying? So like right now, even with them being in my care, they know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? As far as they live with me now, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing with the custody part, it's like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It ain't no walk in the park, bro. It's hard. Like, I'm talking about from the getting up, taking them to school, running a business, and getting off and trying to pick them up and, you know, orchestrate stuff. Cause it ain't like, I don't put them on anybody. I don't call my mom and them or this and that. The only person that probably helped me is like my dad, my stepdad, you know what I'm saying? Who I still see as my real dad, you know what I'm saying? He'll do whatever. He'll drop what he doing, and you know what I'm saying, when it come to them. That's really like the only help. My mom and my uncle, my grandma and them, you know, my grandma older, so I don't put my kids on them because my kids bad. I ain't gonna lie, bro. They're a handful. So I don't like putting my kids on somebody because I know how they is, you know what I'm saying? But if I have to, you know what I'm saying, I know who to go to. But as far as me now, with them living with me, I look at it more as like I'm trying to get them in line, you know what I'm saying? Even when they go with their mama, they still act out, but I'm trying to fix that, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fix it to where they don't act out and they act the way they with me when they go with their mama, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fix that, you know what I'm saying? Because without me, I don't really know, because they was trying to put my kids on medicine. They was trying to I don't have meetings with psychologists and stuff, bro, and the teachers, and it was just stressful, bro, because a lot of people didn't know what I was going. And I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of embarrassing at a point because I'm like, damn, bro, like, I'm going so hard and like, it's like this right here, I can't really control this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, bro, my son got Baker Act 3 times, bro, within not even 6 months. You know what I'm saying? To the point they thought something was wrong with him. And like I told them, like, you're not putting my kids on medicine. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna happen because I know they don't act like that with me. You know what I'm saying? They was running away from the house and they was running away from their mama house and stuff. Yeah. And like, I had to really grow up, bro. I couldn't like make it seem like it was her fault. You know what I'm saying? I had to be a grown man about this and be a parent at the same time because if I just push this off and like let her deal with it, then what type of man I look like? You know what I'm saying? And this is my kids. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like I said, with the custody part, they live with me now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like everything flopped. It's flipped. It really did because, like I said, child support was killing me, bro. Child support was killing me, bro. And I was trying to hide that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like now it's like I'm getting back ahead now. You know what I'm saying? And like, I really wish we could have worked that financial part out, but it's just how life go now. So like they with me and I'm doing the best I can, bro. Like it's hard. I ain't gonna lie. It's hard. Like with them being like, and I'm a single father, you know what I'm saying? So, and I take care of everything on my own. I don't have a job, you know what I'm saying? I run a business, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. So it's like, when it's there, I go get it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I gotta make sure they good. They go to school, they play sports. I gotta take care of all of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask their mama for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Whatever she wanna do, she more than welcome to do. But I'm not finna reach my hand. Hey, listen, can you? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Whatever she wanna do, she can do. But my job right now is to make sure that I raise these 2 boys. You know what I'm saying? My other son, he good. You know what I'm saying? Me and they mama, our relationship, we good as far as custody part. He come with me when he come with me. I get him. I try to get all of them together, like, at the same time. You know, I've been doing that for years. Like, even when I was getting them every other weekend, I would go get Mage. You know what I'm saying? Try to have them together. But that's basically what it is now, bro. I had to get an attorney. She took care of everything, bro. I probably say I didn't have to talk too much during the process. All I had to do was pay the bread, sit back, let her know my situation, and she handled that. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like somebody was kind of over me when it came to my kids, and they were trying to control me. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as controlling my pockets, trying to control my mind with the kids, and I just wasn't letting it happen. So, like I said, shout out to Miss McDonald. You know what I'm saying? So now that part is over with. So now it's up to me to maintain everything and make sure that they get on the right track. Cause that's the main thing right now, is making sure their behavior is right. You know what I'm saying? So